So, if you thought about the actually almost brand new movie 47 Ronin, which I saw a little over a week ago today, so it's had time to sink in if it needed it. Gonna try to keep this brief, and just to be on the safe side, this is speaking as someone who is, first of all, a huge Keanu Reeves fan, as everyone who's ever been to my apartment can vouch. Someone who is interested in Japan, and thinks that feudal Japan is a very interesting period and a fascinating setting for a story, but also someone who doesn't really know the legend of the 47 Ronin in anything but the most absolute basics, so that I'm not a purist in any sense. I find the setting and the story very interesting, but I don't have a lot of background info, and I am, absolutely not a purist. I saw the movie in big screen theater, 3D. I have to say the 3D part is totally unmotivated, totally unnecessary, doesn't add anything whatsoever to the movie. If you can't see the 2D version, you should do that, because you just have the annoyance of the 3D glasses and it doesn't add anything to anything. Other than that, I really enjoyed it. I think it's the kind of movie that is very entertaining, very worth seeing once. In this case, I am definitely going to buy the DVD. If it's ever on TV, or when it's on TV, I'm going to watch it. That's only because Keanu's in it. Because it wasn't that good that I would want to watch it 5 times for its own sake. When you don't know the story, at least the details of this particular plot, it's definitely entertaining, definitely keeps you on your toes, if you will. I thought the story it had good pacing. It wasn't like, leaping from one point to another, but there also weren't any, sort of dull periods where you were yawning and wondering why they weren't just getting on with it. I think the actors were good. There was, I've seen criticism that it should just have been in Japanese, and it's just pondering to Keanu's lack of ability to speak Japanese, that it's all in English, and it ruins everything because the Japanese actors, which is almost everyone except him, except Keanu, are so shitty at English. I didn't agree with that at all. My friends also didn't. We thought it was not at all a problem to understand what everyone said. It didn't bother us at all. So I think you have to be, how can I say this without sounding, I think you have to be kind of a xenophobe to have a problem with it. Unfortunately. Yeah, xenophobia is natural, whatever, blah blah, but if you seriously can't endure someone speaking with an accent in a movie, then that's a lot of actors you're gonna miss out on. I think the actors in this did a good job, pretty much all of them, and it didn't bother us at all that almost everyone spoke with at least more or less of an accent. I've also seen criticism against Keanu that he doesn't belong in the movie because he's not Japanese, and it's not right to have someone of his ethnicity there. But the thing is that his character in the story is mixed race, in almost exactly the same mix that he is mixed race himself. So I think that's very unreasonable to fault the director or the casting department or whoever for casting a mixed race actor when the part is mixed race. I don't have a problem with the mixed race actor playing a mixed race part. I think that actually works pretty well. Of course, the majority of the criticism against him has been that he's wooden and one-dimensional and all the same shit he usually gets. And as a fan, and I hope as an objective viewer, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with it. I never have. People say that his acting is wooden, and all of that shit. I don't agree. I think it's understated. It's low-key. It's, if you're expecting someone like Gary Oldman, who'll chew up the scenery, if that is what acting is to you, then yeah, getting Keanu's style is going to be a challenge for you. But I personally, I've never had any problems, and even before I became a fan of his, from picking up on what he's trying to communicate through his acting style, which is, I don't accept it as one-dimensional, whatever. It's understated. I think he did a really good job. I think he fit in well. I think the big problem with this movie is going to be from people who are, for lack of a better word, purists, who know the story really well. They're probably not going to like quite a lot of the supernatural elements which are significant and which are integral to the plot. If you take away the supernatural things from this movie, then there's nothing left, because that's what drives the plot forward. And I think if you want the story as it should be, the legend as I assume it actually is, there are no witches transforming themselves into dragons, presumably, then you're probably going to be pissed off by quite a few things by this movie. But I liked it. I thought it was entertaining. It was very well made. Visually, it was quite stunning. I found it convincing, pretty much as feudal Japan. I thought that, for what it is, an action movie with fantastical elements in a pretty unusual setting, I think that it works really well. It's not the kind of movie that you want to see again and again, at least it wasn't for me. When you know the plot, the rest of it is... There's not enough of the rest of it to make it worth watching, well, for normal people. As I say, I'm probably going to be watching it quite a few more times, but not in theaters. I'm not going to pay to watch this again, except whatever the DVD is going to cost. It's definitely worth seeing. If you like action movies, if you like... fantasy style things, if you like Keanu, you have to see it. The ending was really good. I'm not going to say what the ending was, but it was really good. I really appreciated how they stayed sort of true to the culture in the ending. Could it have been better? Yeah, it can always be better. But I didn't really see any huge things, like, if they only changed this. That would have made it so much better. And for as inexperienced a director as Carl Rinsch is, I think he did a really, really good job with this. I was actually pretty impressed. My friends didn't know how little work Rinsch had done before this, so they were actually really impressed. If you can see it in a theater, you should do that. It'll definitely give you a couple hours of solid entertainment. But skip to 3D, because that is just completely beyond pointless in this movie. Hollywood studios really need to take a good long look at themselves when it comes to 3D. It's baloney. No matter how thin you slice it, it's still baloney. But 47 Ronin is worth the watch. Definitely worth the watch. I recommend it. If you're in the mood for that kind of thing.
I'm looking for someone who was sold to you. A half-breed banished from our land.
Why did you come for me?
Those who enslaved you have taken over our land.
Mountains of corpses will not stand in our way.
We believe you are the only one who can help us.
Their army is infinite.
We are 47.
If we do this, there's no coming back. The enemy will be watching. I know what you are.
You have no idea.
I'm not afraid of you.
You should be.
Your life belongs to us. Then take it if you can.